And then, yes, so we don't know who cut down the trees. Okay. Was it the First Men? Was it the Andals? Was it both?
Was it George Washington?
You were doing so well.
Warning, the following show will spoil the hell out of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire books and the TV show A Game of Thrones. Also, you're probably going to find a fuck ton of bad language. The explicit tag is there for a reason.
Death and boobies, 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 death and boobies. Welcome back to the Ironwood Network Book Club. I am your host, Widow Wolfsbane. With me, as per usual, are Maester Ironwood and Lady Wyvern. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Well, can we use full words?
What, per usual?
I guess.
Like,
yeah.
Per usual?
Per usual instead of per usual. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
You know, if
since we are like a literature podcast, maybe we should actually use full English words.
We're also very modern.
Not that modern.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No, we're not that modern.
I'm
too old for that shit.
You have to pick your battles, Maester.
I just won that one.
He did win that one.
Watch her use it again.
Probably. Next time she does the introduction.
I think I've used that twice now, doing intros.
3 or 4.
Maybe,
twice. I think you lost count.
Definitely.
Alright, so what are we here discussing today?
We are discussing Bran's 6th chapter.
We are disgusting.
We are not disgusting. Maybe you are.
I might be a little.
I'm here discussing something. How about
discussing?
You? Yes.
I would prefer to discuss Bran's 6th chapter.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like asking and axing questions. I prefer to ask them.
Oh, yeah. I don't like to axe people very much. It gets really bloody on the feelings.
Yeah. It's very, very A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
To ask people questions.
It's really a mountain tribe kind of thing.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's where I got it from. I got it from, what's his face? I can't remember any of their names anymore. All right.
So now before we jump into the synopsis, I have, upon your guys' request, written a haiku about this chapter.
I like these haikus.
Yeah, Lady Wyvern and I have grown accustomed and very anticipatory of these.
I'm liking the haikus. So I present the haiku of Ice and Fire for Bran 6.
Okay.
Robb calls the banners. Bran is a sad bubble boy. Hodor's junk is huge.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. Well, that's our chapter summary right there.
And there's the synopsis.
That is so funny.
I like the haikus.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Let me jump into a synopsis of the chapter.
Please do.
So we start out with Bran. He is watching all of Robb's new bannermen come pouring into Winterfell throughout the days, as Robb has called the banners to go south to fight a war and protect Hoster Tully and keep the Southerners from coming through the neck. The last of the bannermen, the Karstarks, are arriving today. So it's their turn to be feasted. Bran is sad that he's not allowed to go anywhere or do anything because there's a bunch of angry, crazy, drunken men around now. So Robb won't let him do anything. So he's a sad bubble boy who's basically not allowed to do anything. After all that, he decides he wants to go to the Godswood. So he has Hodor take him there. And Hodor sets him down by the weirwood tree and goes off to soak in the hot springs. After thinking about some things, Osha shows up and tells Bran some stories about North of the Wall, about giants, about Mance Rayder. And then Hodor shows back up, completely naked, junk swinging around. Osha's like, my. That boy's got some giant's blood in him.
Interested, baby?
And she tells Bran that Robb is going the wrong way to fight his war. And pretty much convinces Bran that Robb's going the wrong way to fight his war, as we'll find out at the end of the chapter. Because after the last feast, which Bran has to conduct in front of the, I believe it was the Karstarks men or the Umber's men, because Robb is with his generals in the Solar making plans. Maester Luwin tries to convince Bran to become a Maester. No, I don't think so. And the next morning, or 2 mornings later, it's a red sunrise, so bad and foreboding, as Robb and his men ride out of Winterfell to south, to glory, to battle.
To death.
To death.
Oh,
For pretty
okay.
much all of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, Walder Frey.
Well, if any northerner goes south, they never come back.
Yep.
Yeah, as we see is recurring.
Well, and Rickon reminds us of that because he's like, you're not coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, so we see that as a recurring theme for this chapter, that Bran keeps going over that in his mind, too.
Yep. And that's where we leave off.
All right.
Robb is headed off to war.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Lord Robb.
Yeah, Lord Robb. Not his brother Robb, just Lord Robb.
Yeah, and now Bran is Lord Bran, except he's not. He's just
Bran the Broken.
That's unfortunate.
Well, he let them
sad
get in his
little
head.
Bran.
He did let them get in his head. But it takes a while to build up the skin.
All right, so who wants to get us started?
I do. I want to get us started in how I think that the Karstarks are Vikings.
Why? Because they're big, manly men.
Yeah, like they're just big, huge, and buff people with really long, like kind of tousled, like hair that just does whatever the fuck it wants, flowing freely and uncut. And they all wear like leather shit.
So they're like Jason Momoa.
No,
He's
But they're,
big,
like-
buff, and he wears
it's true.
leather and...
yeah, but he's not a Viking. I mean, like Alexander Skarsgård when he had long hair.
Neither
Oh,
do
okay.
they, because like, they don't do anything boat-related.
That's true. But alright, they're land Vikings.
They're like,
They're
the
land
whole
Vikings.
north is like Celtic and Scottish,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
base
like
stuff.
barbarians. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like the Vikings of...
They're like the Celts or the Scots.
Yeah.
Oh. Alright. that went over.
Got it?
Yeah, because they're kind of like, I also kind of thought of them as like the Dothraki of Westeros too, the way that they're like that, but they're just not quite so savage.
Well, that's kind of like most of the north.
Yeah. The north
Really?
is more
The,
savage than
the
the
north
south.
are the Dothraki of the Westeros.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's why the south is happy that they just kind of usually just like stay above the neck and leave everybody else alone.
That's fair.
So Nan says the Karstarks have Stark blood in them.
Yes.
How far back does that go?
Several generations.
That's a lot
That's
of
why they're the
symbols.
Karstarks.
Well, right. I realized the last names were similar, obviously, but
Yeah, like a Stark married into the Karstarks long
or it was a different last
ago.
name, and they just mixed the two last names.
No, they were from Karhold, and
Okay.
a Stark married into them,
making them
making them
Karstark.
the Karstarks. Yep.
Makes sense.
I wonder if any other Starks have been married in...
Oh yeah, the Starks have always been very good about marrying into their bannermen's houses.
Okay.
Yeah, they've always been good about that.
As it'll show in this chapter when Robb's
Yeah.
apparently been offered
He's being
women.
propositioned a
Yeah.
little bit here and there, and he's afraid
with
that
a
someone's
few
going to
women, yeah.
over-proposition their daughter,
Yeah.
who is 20 years older than he is.
Or 20 years younger.
Yeah.
Wow, she's like -5.
The one,
That's pretty impressive.
No, the one is like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Well, that's like standard age. Like, remember, Ned was already talking about finding a woman for Arya, and they already found one for Sansa, and she's
Found
like,
a woman for Sansa, huh?
well, okay, a
Well,
guy.
Yeah.
Robert found
A guy.
guy, I
Yeah.
use that term loosely, for Sansa.
Yeah.
And Ned was kind of like, I can't say no to the king.
Right.
Though I really want to.
Yeah. Cool. That was painful for him.
Mm-hmm.
Still
I'm sure
is.
it was. Yeah.
Still
Not for much
is.
longer, it won't be.
Oh!
Oh.
Ouch. Okay. So, but yeah, so Rand's watching these people walk through the gate with the drum bigger than the guy, just pounding away.
Yeah. So, it's a lot of people. It's what, 5,000 people?
Yeah, they got a total of like 12,000 fighters
Okay.
Yeah.
between all of Robb's bannermen.
Yeah, the Karstarks are 300 horsemen and near 2,000 footmen.
And
Okay.
all Bran wants to know is how many knights are there?
Yeah,
But in
he
the
still hasn't hung up on
north,
that.
in the north, nobody's a knight.
There's
Yeah.
like 300 knights, Maester Luwin tells him.
Yeah.
From some of the few houses that keep to the new gods.
Right, because you have to be anointed with the 7 oils and stand your vigil in the Sept and be named in the light of the 7.
And those aren't our gods, boy.
In order to be a knight.
So, so that's a bit of a conundrum for Bran then, because he's so hell-bent on being a knight, but later in the chapter he's drawn more and more to the godswood and to his own gods, and you can't be a knight if you don't believe. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they don't have.
So
knights.
he's kind of giving himself.
He's a dumb kid.
Well,
because wasn't Jory like the not Knight of the North? Where was it in the show? Jory, the one that walked up to Jaime, and Jaime's like, "Who are you, sir? What?" And he goes, "I'm not a knight."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there aren't knights in the North.
Yeah.
Unless they come from the South.
Like, I'll still kick your ass, but I'm not a knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a knight. I'll still fucking murder you, though.
And I think the ones that are not a knight have more honor in the North.
I think so, because I feel like because you have a sir in front of your name makes you feel like you don't have to do as much because you're already honorable.
Honorable knights.
Well, yeah, but I feel like a lot of them are just kind of pompous douches.
Oh, I mean,
Well, yeah, titles make everyone a pompous ass.
True.
yeah. I mean, Ned's a pompous douche. Always ranting about people doing the right thing when he's not.
Yeah.
Fair. Some hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing's hypocrisy.
But yeah, so Bran is, he needs to know how many knights there are, and he seems pretty sad that there's only like 300 knights
Yeah.
out of like 12,000 fighters.
Yep.
That's a bit of a Tully thing for him, though.
It's very Tully.
Yeah.
Because, they don't have the label, they don't have the name, they don't have the title.
Yeah.
So
If you don't have a
they're
sir,
not.
you must be a dirt people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bran's not a sir, so maybe he's a dirt people.
No, he's just
He's
broken.
Alright, now, one thing I do want to discuss here is getting down from the tower. It seems like there's no staircase up to this tower.
Well, the chapter says there isn't.
It's like you gotta
It's a ladder, isn't it?
like handholds
No.
in the wall.
They carved handholds in the wall, yeah.
Oh.
This is like the astronomy tower, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, because he's looking through a magnifying glass.
He's
or
looking out
the-
Maester Lewin's lookout tower.
Yeah. And
so it's like a bird's nest thing that he's in.
Yeah, but you would think that there'd be like a ladder or some stairs
something a little safer
to get up there.
But probably
it's like
because
handholds in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because that's how Hodor gets him down, is by taking the handholds in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You didn't realize this as you're reading
No,
along?
I thought like the handholds were the handholds of the rungs of the ladder.
No.
No, they're
it's like
carved
handholds
into
cut
the wall.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's going like Bruce Willis in the fucking elevator shaft style.
Yeah,
in
he
this
is.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like American Ninja shit.
Yeah.
Those little fucking finger things that they have.
And
to
Maester
like,
Lewin does it regularly.
Yeah,
that's why he's so spry as a little fight.
scary old dude right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping down that tower all the time.
Maybe that's the only place he has privacy to do his dick pics.
That's possible. He's got the magnifying glass, so you can like check out all like the people in the village and shit.
Yeah.
It's a telescope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little lookout.
His far eye, thank you.
My God.
Their fancy new one from Mir.
Yeah. His fancy new far eye.
That he doesn't have a box to hold it because he smashed the box open for no fucking reason because he's a moron.
It's true. It's true.
Laugh at me all you want. I'm still shaking
I know,
my head.
you're shaking your head, you're like, I've had enough of your guys' shit already.
But he must have had a reason to smash that box.
Maybe he just wanted, maybe it was a really, really nice box, and he wanted to, like, reverse engineer it, so he was taking it apart so he could see how to put one together so he could make another one. And then got really angry, did some percussive maintenance on it, and just broke it.
Whatever, dude.
Theory.
Sure, why not? Okay, so we get to a dinner.
Oh, wait, before we get there. When he's on his way down, has it really been a year already since his fall? Because it says a year ago, before, he would have visited the tower even if it meant climbing over the walls himself.
Well, no, because even if he fell 6 months ago, still a year ago,
Okay.
he'd be climbing.
Well, I think it's probably been pretty close, right? So we know that our last
yeah.
time in King's Landing, it had been about 6 months.
Yeah.
Give or take. Well, 6 months since they arrived, and that's like another month on the road before that, so that's 7 months. And then
It's
Bran
a 2 month. We talked about that. It's a 2 month trip down.
Right, okay, so that's like 8 months, and then Bran had fallen almost a month before they left, because they hung out for a while, like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
so that's 9 months.
So that's 9 months, and then I could figure that by the time Robb
calls
not just that, but the rumors, but then Robb calls his banners, and they've got to come in from they've got to first then call all their men, and then come in marching from all over the north.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's easily a month or 2 worth of time.
He also did mention that it's not quite yet Robb's 15th name day.
He said that it said that he hadn't yet reached 16.
Or 15 or 16, whatever.
16, right?
It said 16.
Which means at this point, Jon is probably 16 at this point.
Or close to it.
Or very close to it,
right.
Yeah.
Because they're of an age.
Yeah, so they had gone through
but Jon's older.
His 15th. Because we'd reached both their 15th name days.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is... So they're both 15, and he's saying, he hasn't even gotten to be 16 yet, and he's doing all this shit right now.
Yeah. So yeah, this is where Jon has already turned 15 23 chapters ago, and this is where we discover that Robb is also now 15.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't reached 16.
Yep. And we're 67% through the book, and we are a year time lapse at this point.
I would say it's probably been close to a year. Since
9-10 months about.
Yeah.
About
somewhere
10
in that
months.
range. Yeah. Easily. Because like I said, it easily would take, a month or 2 for the bannermen in the north to gather their men,
Yep,
gather
and then
their
get
supplies, and then get to Winterfell.
Yeah.
I notice he says before, and the words in the italics every time he says before his fall, because he doesn't know what happened. It was just before.
Before that,
Before how he is now.
Yeah. Exactly.
He still doesn't remember
what happened.
What happened.
Blacked out.
Do you think he ever finds out what happened?
Well, I would say so if he's able to use the weirwood trees to look into the past and see everything.
Because he never brings it up.
I wonder if he, actually knows, he just never says anything about it.
Because, what was it? The three-eyed raven doesn't let him...
Three-eyed crow.
I always get those two mixed up, because I keep thinking the guys at the wall are the crows.
They are crows.
Okay,
They're the crows. But there's the three-eyed crow that's in Bran's dreams.
Okay. And then the raven
And then there's Blood Raven.
Blood Raven. Okay. So I was thinking, the three-eyed crow doesn't let him see what happened.
Well, it doesn't not let him see. He just says, don't think about that. Like, Bran still could think about that. The crow tells him not to, and Bran decides to listen.
Right. But because of that, he may not try and figure out what happened.
Right. Well, but he might just happen to come across it when he's getting his fucking download from the Weirwood Net.
Well, maybe.
Weirwood.net. Bran 3000.
I really hope it doesn't become Bran 3000 in the books, because that's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's really dumb.
His little robot-y.
Yeah.
I have seen everything in the world now.
Error.
I am no longer the Bran that you used to know.
Error. Does not compute. Error.
Yeah. Now I'm just somebody that you used to know.
What if he becomes Johnny 5?
No. Johnny 5's way cooler.
Okay. Alright.
Hey, Lizard Lips, your mother was a snowblower.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the anniversary of that movie or something, but that's been coming up all over everywhere recently in the past couple weeks.
It's probably the 30th anniversary of it or something.
Okay. I don't feel like it's that old. The movie.
It's from my fucking childhood.
I know, but I still don't feel like it's that old.
Which means it's at least 30.
I know, but I'm still one of those people that when they say 30 years ago, I don't think the 1990s, I think the 70s.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I'm that person.
Yeah.
Well, stop being that fucking person.
I need to.
Alright, so, we've got, so are we good on the...
Yep.
Alright,
yep,
so,
good on timeline.
We go to dinner.
Do we go to the Weirwood first, or...
No, we go to the first dinner first, where Robb is there, Bran sits next to him,
Bran's sitting on his right-hand side.
Yeah, the place of honor.
Yep.
And
which pisses off the generals.
Are not happy.
Yeah.
Some people are not happy that a cripple and a little boy has such a place above them.
Which when I was reading it, I was like, fuck off, you guys, it's his brother! Mm-hmm. He's a fucking Stark in a Stark household in Winterfell, and you guys are like, I want the place of honor. Fuck you guys!
Right.
That was my thought process when reading that.
No, I completely
And to be
agree
fair,
with
all the
that.
people are willing to die for Robb.
Yeah.
Bran might be.
Doesn't-
Might.
Might
At this point in his life.
Yeah, but he's the only boy that doesn't die, so.
Oh.
Oh.
Rickon is still alive.
I know.
These are the fucking books.
I-
Rickon is goddamn still
I know.
alive.
I'm sorry.
Rickon is not dead.
Rickon is... Hashtag Rickon's still alive.
Hashtag
Sorry.
Rickon death hoax.
The news of his death has been greatly exaggerated.
Sometimes it's really hard for me to remember that what's going on in the show right now
Ever going to take place in the books.
will not happen in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what does and doesn't, whatever.
He might pick and choose some stuff. I don't know. I feel like he might, like, surprise us with a couple weird things that happen in the show that he's going to put into the book.
Well, it would be that he allowed them to put it in the show.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to take the show and turn that into his book. That's
Yeah, no.
not
Yeah.
happening.
No, he'll let them take stuff from his book and put it in the show.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Get it straight. Author
Yeah.
first, shitty TV show second.
I know. That's how I meant it, but that's not how I worded it.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
No, you
Did that backwards.
strike that, reverse it.
Indeed.
Okay. And we get...
No.
He's in this chapter quite a bit.
Hodor
And he does
didn't show up.
He does have
Yes,
some
but
words.
not during dinner.
Yes, he is. he has to bring Bran to
He
dinner.
brought Bran to dinner.
It doesn't
basket.
mean he's eating dinner
Well,
with
no, he's not eating dinner there, but he
No.
was there for dinner.
Yeah, he brought Bran over, and two servants picked up, like, Hodor, like, got down on his bum. Two servants then had to go onto some stools to pick him up out of the basket off of Hodor's back, because he's huge. And then they put him in a chair, and Hodor's like, Hodor,
in front of
leaves.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. I do feel a little bit
Bad for Bran because he's such a young kid.
and he's being, and I can't say publicly humiliated, but it's still a spectacle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. He's definitely the freak show, unfortunately,
Yeah.
in Winterfell.
as much as he doesn't want to be.
I'm happy that he has the basket thing that Lewin decided to do for him, so that way, because he likes that better, and he feels less
Dishonor.
dishonor, and less like, a mockery
Yeah.
doing that than being carried around like a baby.
Yeah, by Hodor.
I could totally see Hodor petting him like a cat, though.
I can,
no,
yeah.
I'm wrong. Bran has a flashback to dinner.
Oh, it's a flashback to
When he's up in the tower, he's thinking of when the Umbers
Okay.
arrived
Okay.
and what happened to the Great Jon when he...
Isn't that later in the
flashback?
chapter?
That was later in the chapter.
Was it later in the
That
chapter?
was later in the
Yeah.
chapter.
All right.
Because Bran almost had diarrhea at that point.
Oh, that's right.
His bowels turned to water.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no. You were at...
How did he feel that, though? I thought Bran didn't have control over that kind of stuff. Well, we don't know. We don't know about that.
No, after they come down from the tower,
They go right to the Godswood.
they go right to... So I was right.
Yeah.
You were right.
And Lewin's like, don't go, because he said that he wanted to go back to the keep.
Yeah.
Because the Godswood's
trouble
in the
Robb.
keep. Yeah, and Lewin's like, don't bother your brother.
Okay, so
Yeah. So they...
we'll do a cutout right here where we go. Okay, so when Bran comes down, he heads for the Godswood.
Yep. But Hodor is carrying him in the basket. They're going across the, I want to say the moat, but whatever, the portcullis is up and the drawbridge is down. That's what it
Yes.
is.
And
So
they're
they have to
headed
cross the
across
drawbridge.
yards and through there
And everyone's staring at him. So what's
Is it really?
Bran do? He
calls Summer.
He calls his wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Who
And
scares the fuck out of the horses.
Yeah, because
he gets a little thrill out of it. Because, they're all marching in line to the beat, and then here comes this dire wolf, and everyone's, ah!
all the horses lose their shit, and the one guy who was, making fun of him is, clutching to his horse, trying not to fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you do if a fucking wolf the size of a horse came riding by you?
I mean...
You'd try to be its friend, obviously, because you're dumb.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we already know what I was gonna do.
Cute puppy!
Yeah.
Although I have been on a rearing horse before, a lot of fun.
Okay.
The adrenaline rush.
Whatever
Yeah.
you say.
So they go to the Godswood, and Bran says he's been drawn to the Godswood a lot more lately.
Yes.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, really?
Oh, but I like how he gets off of Hodor's back here, where
He hangs onto the
He
tree
latches
limb.
onto a tree.
And he pulls himself up, and then Hodor turns around and puts
Sets
him
him
on
down.
the rock.
Yep.
And then he tells Hodor, go take a bath.
Yep.
Because the only way Hodor will clean himself is in the hot water, because he hates cold. And God forbid you mention soap. He
Yep.
acts like a fucking,
Child.
Well, he's got the mentality
He
of
is a child,
at
which
this
is
point.
Bran's fault, apparently, if the TV show is to be believed.
See, you
I
can't
said-
do that!
But I said if the TV show is to be believed.
That's what I was saying.
I always qualify things like that when I say them.
I forget to.
Right.
I'd say if that part of the TV show is right, I'm not going to be able to read that chapter at all.
Oh, his death?
Yeah. Like, I'm already starting to cry thinking about it right now. Like, I can't imagine trying to read it. I tried to read one book where one of the characters was doing, like, a memory scene from the first book and the third book, and there's, like, a giant, like, tear stain, like, on the middle of my page because I didn't realize that I was crying so hard, and it just, like, I felt so bad. I ruined my book, and then I cried hard over the fact that I had gotten tears on my book.
At that point, you should have just put the book down and walk away.
I did. Oh, I did. Poor fucking
So-
Hodor.
Alright, so Bran sits down.
Yep. No,
by-
he has a choice.
You're
What a fucking ableist.
yeah.
You are such an ableist bitch.
You're able to about Tyrion's height and Bran's lack of legs.
No, he has his legs. He just
Oh,
can't use them.
I had no legs. I had no legs.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, poor Bran. And Hodor heads on over to soak in the hot springs for a while Bran sits there by the black water, I guess, to channel Ned.
Are they... And they are two completely separate things, right? Like, the black water isn't part of the spring?
Right.
No, right,
Okay.
yeah, they're not the same thing.
Two separate things.
They're just kind of close to each other.
Well, they're both in the Godswood,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is, I mean, the Godswood is huge.
Okay. Okay.
There's like acres.
Acres inside the castle walls.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they have like a massive garden for it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, he's been feeling drawn towards the Godswood lately.
Yes.
And his father's gods.
He does say part of it...
Specifically his father.
Yeah,
It's in italics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because his mother is one of the seven. She's a dumb bitch.
Right, but it's also italicized like when he's talking about before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
That's true. But I feel like he did mention at some point that part of the reason why one of the reasons he's drawn to the Godswood too is because it's the only part of the castle that's calm at this point.
Mm-hmm.
With all of the 12,000 people that are there now, it's the only place he can go where it's just kind of still and quiet.
Yep, and it doesn't scare him as much as it did when he was younger, and even though the gods are still looking at him when he's there, he's not as terrified about it. It actually relaxes him.
Mm-hmm.
So, did either of you have the thought about that? Where children are afraid of God because parents tell children if they're bad, they'll go to hell. And that's what I equated him being afraid of the Godswood for?
No.
No.
Okay. Just wondering.
No, I did not. I don't see any Christianity in this.
Not even Christianity, like, there's a couple that do that.
This is more pagan, and I've never...
Pagans don't believe in hell.
Exactly.
Unless...
Apparently neither do Christians, according to the Pope.
Yeah, nice bullshit. I say the only hell that pagans believe in are the Greeks that have the Elysian Fields, which it's in the realm of hell, but it's not a bad place. Because there's hell, and then there's Tartarus.
Okay.
And Tartarus is the place of eternal torment. The Elysian Fields are the place of eternal peace and happiness.
Oh,
So they're both heaven and hell are in the same realm of hell, but they're just two different doors.
Oh, so they're different neighborhoods.
Yes, yeah. They're different neighborhoods on the same street. Like, one's on the wrong side of the tracks.
Right.
Alright, so the first thing Bran, we get a lot of thinking.
Lots of
Bran
thinking,
in
yes.
the Godswood. He's doing a lot of thinking.
There's a lot of thinking in this chapter.
Yes,
He does
a
do a lot of
lot
thinking.
of thinking.
This whole
Not
chapter
a
is
lot
just him.
happens.
Well,
Yeah, a lot
he
of
really
thinking.
can't do much, so...
Yeah.
All I can do is think.
He gives us a bunch of background information and side information on like that too, which is good.
Yeah.
Like how Rickon's a fucking monster.
Well, he's a 3-year-old kid, mommy and dad... Almost 4.
4.
He's almost
And he
4.
can't be afraid forever because he's a Stark.
He's a fucking child. Like,
But
he's
he's
not
a
even
Stark.
I can't even say he's actually a child yet. He's still a toddler.
But he is a man of the Stark family.
Yeah. He is now the second oldest man in the Stark
When
family.
you have
Winterfell.
kids, I want to see you tell a 3-year-old not to cry because he's almost a man grown.
Well, I mean, in Winterfell, because Robb's about to leave.
About to.
Oh, alright, so 3. Right now, he's 3. 30 minutes from now, he'll be 2. Or the second.
It's like 3 days.
Which
What
is
are
like
you
3
guys
minutes from now.
talking about?
I said that he's the 3rd oldest Stark in Winterfell, or the 3rd oldest male Stark in Winterfell right now, but or the 2nd oldest, because Bran becomes the Lord at the end of the chapter.
Well, at the end of the chapter, then
Yeah.
he's the second. But
Yeah,
now he's
and
the
that's
third.
what he was telling me, is that he's the 3rd right now.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which means he has to grow up.
Because Widow can't count. Newsflash.
What are you looking at me for?
He's 3 years old.
I'm sorry, but he's in a time where he needs to start showing some responsibility, even at that age.
I want to see you tell a 3-year-old crying because his mommy.
Okay, I'm not talking about the pansy little kids these days who need their fucking participation trophies. I'm talking about back then in the fucking Stark family.
Back then is a concept that doesn't exist in this book because they're not even on the same planet.
So long ago in a galaxy far, far away, Rickon is in a position where he needs to grow up a little bit.
Sure.
As does Sansa.
I think you didn't like Star Wars.
I don't.
Okay.
But I'm speaking her language.
Oh, I see.
See what I did there?
You're doing some bi-nerdalism.
Yeah. Good stuff. What happened? What does Bran think about next?
He's fucking crazy. Like,
Well, that's what's next.
Yeah, he disappears for, 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking gone. No one can find him. Someone finally finds him in the fucking crypts of Winterfell. And he's just hanging
He's
out.
wild as fuck with
Yeah.
a rusty sword in his hand.
Yeah, fucking like a mole people down there. He's a fucking mole person. And then his wolf, as he's thrashing swords at people at 3 years old, how the fuck can he lift it up? Is my question.
He's a tough guy.
Apparently. He's like a little...
And it's old and rusted.
It's still heavy. I would still think...
He's angry enough he can pick it up.
Yeah. And then, out of nowhere, this set of green eyes just pop out of nowhere, and then a salivating, snarling wolf the size of a fucking pony.
Takes a chunk of a man's arm.
Yeah.
And leg.
And leg.
And leg.
And Micken's leg. Micken's leg.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking blacksmith. At least it wasn't the Smith's arm, because if it was the Smith's arm, he'd be kind of fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't need his leg that much.
I want to say this might have something close to the warging thing, because they've been gone for 3 days, and they're both acting the exact same. They're both acting like wild animals.
Yes.
They're acting out. They're being aggressive. And they're just not.
Yeah. And then when they get
listening.
separated, the wolf goes nuts in the kennel.
Well, he's locked in the kennel now
Yeah.
because he attacked 2 people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Rickon is just acting out like a crazy 3-year-old who doesn't know where his parents are.
True. And, well, he knows that they're just not there. That's his only concept, is that people leave and they don't come back.
Yeah.
And
Well, he's
that's a
got
shit
that right.
concept to have at 3 years old.
Especially when it's correct.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm surprised though, but because his wolf attacked 2 people, I'm surprised Robb didn't do something worse. Kill
Rob's
it.
not going to
Rob's
kill
not
the
gonna put that to
direwolf.
death.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that'd also be a really bad fucking thing for him to do right before
It would be
going
a
to war.
really bad omen for them to
Yeah.
kill their own
Because you
kill
heard
the sigil.
Because you heard what Bran told Robb in this chapter when they're talking about Sansa.
Yes.
Because Robb was
Because-
reading Sansa's letter.
Yeah, that was later, and he goes, well, she doesn't have her wolf
Yeah,
anymore.
she lost her wolf.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with her. She
Yeah.
lost her wolf.
Well, because Lady came back as nothing but bones.
Yeah.
Because anyone who goes south, all they come back as is bones.
If they come back at
If
all.
that.
If they
Yeah.
come back at all, that is true.
Because do Ned's bones make it back to Winterfell?
Supposedly.
In the show, they make it to Catelyn.
Supposedly they make it back.
Okay.
But then Catelyn dies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they make it to Catelyn because Littlefinger brings them to her as a
Peace offering.
peace offering, a goodwill kind of thing.
Yep.
Here's the remains of what's left of your husband, so you can bury him at Winterfell, but they never...
Make it home.
Yeah, they never mention anything. Well, they don't mention that he ever makes it home or that anything ever happens to it. They never show Catelyn telling them, take these home and bury them, or anything of the like.
Well, I'm assuming she sent someone home with them to bury them in the...
I fucking hope so. I hope she's not pulling a fucking crazy-ass bitch lady where she's keeping his fucking bones with her.
Or throwing them in the river.
Yeah.
Making soup.
I totally see her doing that, though. Making soup out of his bones and keeping him with her the entire time, and just
That's disgusting.
God, she's fucking crazy. And she doesn't listen.
At this point, I can't tell if that's a Tully trait or a Stark trait.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
That's why she fits in so well.
Probably both.
Because Edmure doesn't listen either.
Right, well, that's a Tully thing.
Yeah. Because we find that out in one of Catelyn's chapters, I think.
Edmure listens, but he almost listens too well. That's Edmure's problem.
Well, okay, so
Because
then...
he wasn't... Because
He's too by the book.
in Edmure's defense, he wasn't clued into the plan that, like, he wasn't supposed to win his little battle.
That's true. That's very
Like,
true. He wasn't supposed to drive him
told,
away.
right, he wasn't told he was supposed to lose,
Yeah.
basically.
That's true.
Had they told Edmure the plan, he might have actually done it correctly. The problem is, Edmure actually, like, completely decimated them and won his battle pretty handily, which was kind of not what they wanted, because they wanted them
they didn't expect
to be, like,
it.
tied up for a while fighting.
Did they really think that Edmure was that incompetent that he would not have won?
Apparently.
They didn't have to tell him that. Like,
Well, I mean,
listen, Edmure's gonna lose.
They undermanned him
Yeah.
and sent him out to a battle that he should have been able to win that handily, but he did.
Yeah.
What battle is this? Is this in the books?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where he's supposed to draw the mountain in closer so they can...
It's in the... We'll get
Yeah.
there in several chapters. It's fine. But-
Okay.
So how does she know what you're talking about and I don't?
Because it's also in the show.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's a battle. You probably weren't paying attention. You're not really into the war
I
thing.
can't follow. I'm not supposed to be following the TV show anyways.
Well, it's in the book you have. Well, actually, no, it's in a later book. We haven't gotten there yet. It's in a different book.
Okay.
It's like a book from now.
Okay.
Oh. Really? Oh, yeah, because it would be in a Clash of Kings.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hodor.
All right, so the next thing Bran's thinking about is how he just wants everybody to come home. He doesn't want Robb to leave.
Yeah.
So he wants miracles to
He's
happen.
praying at this point.
He is
Yeah.
He's praying to the old gods.
Yep.
He is.
Waving his hand around in the water, making his hand invincible.
He's playing
That's
in the Blackwater.
Yeah, he's got it. He's...
Okay.
It didn't say it was black, though. It said... It used the word green.
Well, that's the hot springs that Hodor's in.
Oh, okay.
The pool next to the weirwood we
brain.
already know is Blackwater.
Okay.
Next to the heart tree.
Yeah, next to the weirwood. Yeah. It's the Blackwater.
I
So
know,
one
but I'm trying to think of what...
It's the one Ned uses to clean his sword.
No, I'm thinking of the hot spring that it's green. I'm wondering what
Moss.
chemical makes it green. Because if it's a hot spring, algae doesn't grow on hot springs very well.
Who knows? Maybe...
It's magic.
I mean, water looks green, blue, depending on things.
That's true.
Not necessarily algae either, so...
That's very true. I mean, they're definitely not putting dye in it in this time frame.
It could be.
There's no chlorine in this pool.
I hope not.
Yep. So Bran just wants everybody to come home,
Yeah.
but he tells
Everyone
him and
home safe.
Maester Luwin both told Robb that he shouldn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he shouldn't.
And he's listening to
They
Theon.
really should not send any more Stark south.
Yeah, but Robb makes a good point.
He can't let this go on...
He can't let it go
unresponded.
unchallenged.
Yeah.
And B, Ned would never send men south to die for him without going himself.
That's
Yes.
true. That is.
So, and I completely agree with Robb on that.
I do too, because Maester Lewin's trying to get him to pull a Tully thing where, go fight my battle for me, I'll be over here.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so-
Robb's like, no, not going to happen. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to send them to die if
Yeah.
I'm not willing to go with them and die.
Yeah.
Is that the same concept of those who pass the sentence
swing
swing
the sword. Yeah, similar
Mm-hmm.
idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You need to show your men that you're with them.
Yep.
Thinking of Joffrey at the Battle of Blackwater where he runs and hides.
Well, he's a prince.
He's
Joffrey.
a pansy.
He's a pansy. Listen, Rhaegar was a prince.
King Joffrey.
Rhaegar was a prince, and he got
Yeah.
his chest beat in because he was at a battle.
Now, I do want to talk about Bran's idea that Theon motherfucking Greyjoy could lead the fucking army.
He thinks that?
Yeah, he said, why don't you... Because he was thinking of... I don't know if it's that he had said that to Robb or he just thought
No, he's
it.
thinking in his head, he's thinking of other people who could take Robb's place. He's like, Hal Mullen.
Theon Grey...
Well,
Greyjoy's
that's
the
because
last
Theon's
Greyjoy.
just been there and he's been with Robb ever since.
I think
and
it's because Bran wants him to die.
it could just be because Bran knows that Theon's been in every meeting Robb's been having. He knows everything, so why can't they just send him so that Robb doesn't
That's true.
Plus, I think
That's his
Theon
point.
is that kind of teenager, right, that, like, a younger boy would look up at and think is cool. Like,
Except Bran hates him.
Like, that guy's got his shit together.
Yeah, Bran doesn't like
Bran
Theon.
hates
Never
him.
has.
He hates that he smiles all the time
I
over
know
stupid
that,
stuff,
but he obviously thinks high enough of him that he could lead the fucking army in battle.
I think
Or
it's that.
just in the hopes that he dies and not his brother.
Yeah, I think it's that.
I doubt it's that. I doubt that that's what it is. Because I don't think Bran is thinking of them, like, thinking of wanting them to lose, because then nobody's coming home.
That's true. That means his dad.
And then they're, like, totally fucked.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But yeah, thinking that Theon Greyjoy, of all people, could lead the fucking army.
Well, he is a kid and he doesn't know much.
Apparently not. He does not know much at all, because, wow.
No.
Fucking Theon.
That's just like a chilling thought, having Theon at the head of an army.
Yes, it is. He's too cocky and bullheaded.
Yeah, he is. Cocksure and headstrong.
Yeah. Well, he is definitely sure of his cock.
Yeah, he is.
Jesus. I wonder how many times Maester Luwin's drawn that one in his dreams.
Oh, God. He's got to have seen it enough if he's looking through the windows of the whorehouse just outside town.
I am so sick of dick jokes.
You started it.
Did I?
Yes.
Well, then I regret it.
Because you said he's certainly sure of his cock.
No, I'm talking about the Maester Luwin dick jokes.
Well, yeah, but that was a dick joke that got us there.
I understand that.
Actually, I kind of got us there because I did the Robin Hood Men in Tights thing. Robin, or he's headsure and cockstrong or whatever. I started it, I'm sorry.
And then we get to Bran thinking about the ladies who have been brought for Robb.
Oh, God.
One is 30 years old.
God. The other one's, like, just offered to him.
She's a plump 30-year-old woman who's timid and never stops looking at her plate. But she's only brought so she can cook for her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one who was offered to Robb is Mormont's granddaughter,
who
is Lyanna Mormont.
Yeah, we think it's Lyanna, potentially.
It's either Lyanna or one of her sisters.
Oh, I didn't know she'd sisters.
Yes.
Well, Lyanna's the oldest, so I would assume it would be Lyanna.
Most likely.
Yeah.
It's Lyanna, yes.
At this point, she's like 8 or 9. She's probably more like Bran's age.
Probably, yeah.
Or is she a little bit younger? I may be thinking she might be a little bit younger only because she looks smaller than Bran in the TV show.
Well, yeah, and she's also like a completely different character in the TV show versus the books. Like,
that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, they made her a real
like
badass.
nothing like that has happened in the books with Lyanna.
That's really disappointing. She's my favorite. Her and Marjorie were my favorite characters on the TV show. Mm-hmm. And Marjorie's dead, so it's now just Lyanna.
Yeah, well, that happens.
I really hope that he makes her a bigger character in the book and like then in Winds of Winter and stuff. And then, but then there's also the fear. There's also the fear of that George R.R. Martin meme where it's his face and he's laughing and it says, "So you guys like Lyanna, huh?"
I've heard you say it 1,000 times.
Have I?
No, you know what I've heard you guys say 1,000 times? Dick jokes. Stop it.
If you'll stop talking about them, if you don't want to talk about them.
Didn't we say we were like the dick jokiest podcast?
Yes, you are.
So anyway, Robb has been brought some potential brides. He doesn't seem impressed with any of them.
No.
Nope.
At all.
No.
He's kind of appalled, actually.
Yeah, he really is. He's like, this is not good.
I think, and Theon brought
He should have known they were going to do it, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And people are trying to kiss his ass and become, the top general.
He's
and
the Lord of Winterfell. Of course they are.
Yeah, and Theon's like, that one's going to end up in your bed one day. You're going to come into your tent and she's going to be hanging out right there. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Yeah. And then we get Lord Umber.
Oh, God.
The Great Jon.
Yeah, who who gets very pissy about a not even 16-year-old trying to lead everybody and tell people how to do.
Yeah, even though he's not a Stark, so he should not be.
So he says, what would happen if we just said, fuck you, and went back home? And Robb's like, well, first of all, we'll fucking go down south, we'll take care of that shit.
Yeah.
And then we'll fucking come back up to your house, rip you out of there and fucking dismember you. I'll let fucking Roose Bolton fucking flay you, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, what does the Great Jon do?
He
draws his sword!
Yeah.
Draws swords against the Lord of Winterfell.
You don't do that
What
shit!
the fuck are you thinking?
Now, at this point, is it a test, or is he really just pissed because a kid talked back to him?
I think it's that.
I think it's probably a little bit of both, to see if Robb is actually, like, man enough to lead them.
Yeah.
It's that inappropriate joke that you're like, how are they going to take this? Is it going to be funny, or do I have to apologize?
Right.
No apology needed. Everyone takes care of that.
Yeah.
He lost real quick, though.
He did. He drew his sword, and Grey Wind's like, fuck you, comes up, rips off his fucking fingers.
Well, Robb told him to do it, because Robb says that Robb had whispered a couple words, and then Grey Wind took off. Mm-hmm. So Robb, like, flat out told him, rip that guy's fucking hand off, Grey Wind.
Yeah.
Like, and then the guy fucking stands up, and Robb's his badass line, my Lord Father taught me that it's death to draw steel against your liege lord, but I'm most certain that you just meant to cut my meat for me.
Yeah.
To which the Great Jon, missing fingers, just fucking starts laughing like a fucking maniac.
Yeah. Bran's trying not to shoot
I don't know if he
himself.
thinks it's funny or if it's just his adrenaline kicking in.
I think he probably thinks it's funny. He seems like the kind of dude who's like, oh,
I like
he's
this
probably
kid.
he's probably missing like other body parts and shit.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's probably like an ear gone or something from fucking battle. He's probably been stabbed like 30 times. He just seems like that kind of guy who's like always in a fight.
Yeah, and then if someone bests him, he's not upset about it because he thinks of it as a good fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's more of a good time than a lost fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, he seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, he's Robb's right-hand man after that.
Yeah. I think it's because Robb kind of was like, Robb put him in his place.
He's got balls.
Yeah, and he goes, this guy's got balls. He goes, I can follow this guy. And then becomes like, he got put in his place and now he's super loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it like, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, and keep them...
That's a Bolton kind of thing, I think.
You think so?
Well, that's what we come to next is Bran is... Robb admitted later to Bran that he was terrified when the Great Jon came at him.
Well, yeah.
Because he threw full-grown men to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 people were trying to jump on this dude. He just shrugs his shoulder and just they're gone.
Yeah, but he's like, but he's not even the worst of all. The worst is fucking Roose Bolton.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say anything at all.
No.
He just silently calculates.
Yeah, Roose is a terrifying fucking human being.
He's a lot like Tywin.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Foreshadowing.
Is that foreshadowing?
Well, yeah, because he ends up being in league with
that's right.
Tywin for the Red Wedding.
That's right. Yeah.
So
he's not actually he's actually not with Robb. He's
I think he is. No, I think he's with Robb for now, but then Robb makes stupid fucking mistakes and acts like an idiot.
And dies.
Where he marries some other chick instead of securing their place at whatever place, and I think
that was a plot.
I know, but I think that was part of why I have a feeling that that's part of why Roose is like, I'm not going to do this. Like, if he's going to break oaths like this.
But that was
because that seems like an opportunity.
Oh, I think he was just made a better offer.
Roose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. He just made a better offer.
He goes where the money is, probably.
Because one of the things you have to remember is that when the Starks, the old Starks, the Kings of Winter, conquered the North.
Yeah.
The last holdout that they fought with for thousands of years was the Red Kings, which were the Boltons.
Oh.
So they're they're historical enemies.
Okay. So they did not want to bend the knee at all.
No.
So if I'm surprised Bolton came willingly then.
He has to.
He has to at this point.
Right.
Doesn't really have a choice.
So he's just biding his time.
Yeah, if he ignores Robb, then Robb's going to bring the other 10,000 men and take over the Dreadfort.
Okay.
And then take Bruce's men with him.
So you think he's just biding his time at this point? Do you think he goes in there with the plan to get Robb killed?
No, I don't think so. I think that comes later.
Okay.
I think he's actually willing to, like,
do his job.
Do what he's supposed to do, but things happen, and Robb's an idiot and does dumb shit.
Robb's a
he's
young
honorable to a point.
teenager.
And he's honorable to the point of where it gets.
Are you talking about Robb or Bolton?
Bolton. I think Roose is honorable to the point where it starts jeopardizing himself and his family.
Oh, so he's a lot like Ned?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Right about that line right there.
Yeah.
Where, well, my men are all my men are gonna die. Like, this shit's gonna go south. Like, Robb's not gonna win at this point, so let's see, like, and then, a better offer comes along, and it's...
Actually, Robb was gonna win.
No, well, yeah, he probably was.
Had not his entire army been killed by the Freys and the Boltons and the Lannisters.
Okay.
At the Red Wedding.
No.
He was probably gonna win.
Okay. Never mind.
Which is why the Lannisters paid off the Boltons, because they needed an inside person.
Yeah.
And the Boltons were the best people for the job,
Yeah.
because they already had beef with the Starks.
Yeah. Because the only thing that I can think of with Roose Bolton is it's like in the Pirates of the Caribbean when the one guy's like, it's not about honor, it's about good business or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Robb was doing very well. I mean, yes, like, the Umbers or the Karstarks were leaving, but, I mean, he still had enough men. He won pretty much every battle he was in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, the Red Wedding kind of put a kibosh to all of that. But yeah, he made dumb mistakes and Roose Bolton jumped ship.
Yeah.
Now the Red Wedding, that's where Catelyn's brother married one of the
Frey girls.
Yes,
Edmure, yes.
And she was like 14.
Yeah, something like that.
He got her pregnant before he got arrested, though.
He did get her pregnant that night, yes.
Oh, lucky dude.
So good on him.
Yeah.
Well, because the Freys wanted the next heir to Riverrun to be a Frey.
Yep.
Because all he was throwing was chicks, apparently. He had he had 3 boys in the show. I don't know if he has any boys in the book.
Oh, what?
Frey?
Hodor Frey.
Those were his brothers.
Oh.
Walder Frey?
Walder Frey.
Walder Frey's got, like, tons of sons and daughters and grandsons.
Okay.
But they're all related, aren't they? Or no, that's
okay, so they already have heirs for the twins, which is the Frey's house.
Yeah.
Now they are subjugates of the Tullys at Riverrun.
Mm-hmm.
And so Walder Frey wants to further, like, expand his family's power by making sure that Edmure's heir is a Frey.
Okay.
So that way, like, the Frey family then also has control over Riverrun, the house that they're sworn to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Catelyn's children can't do that because she's married to Winterfell.
Yeah, and their last name are Stark, so they're not heir for down there.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
well, it'd be Edmure's heir anyway. Because
yeah, so they're still going to be Tullys.
He's the eldest.
They're still going to be Tullys, but they're going to be Frey blood.
Frey.
Yeah. So they'll have a claim to it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's not just that, but they'll be because the child will be raised by Walder Frey, right? Because, like, the Tullys are dead and shit.
Yeah.
So the child would be raised by the Freys. So therefore, Riverrun would be under control of a lord of the Freys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time deciding if it's worse to be a Tully or a Frey.
Pick 'em.
Yeah.
I call it even.
Okay.
I call it even.
I would too.
Unless you're the Blackfish.
Yes, unless you're the Blackfish.
I'd go Blackfish any day.
Once you go Blackfish, you don't need a wish. I don't know.
No.
That's horrible.
It was terrible.
Anyway. What happens next? Nobody knows.
I'm looking.
OSHA shows up in the... Are we still back in,
Because was this a flashback in his mind?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, this is basically Bran. This is what Bran is thinking about all this while he's
this is a really hard chapter to try and follow because you don't know if if it's all what he's thinking of at this point, or if it's actually going down.
Yeah, so next...
So it's really hard to follow, but Osha shows up.
Well, no, next he thinks about his father.
Yeah, and
the stories that they've heard. So either Ned is in the jail.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the run. He's murdered everybody.
Yeah, he's murdered people. Like, he's murdered himself, and he's dead somewhere.
A Targaryen has come back to life and is killing everybody.
Yeah, Rhaegar himself has come back to life and is storming King's Landing. His mother has killed Tyrion. I mean, everybody that comes by has a different story
Ned
about
killed
what's happening in the South.
The Baratheon family has stormed the castle.
Yeah, and none of the Baratheons are anywhere near fucking King's Landing.
So everybody's got a different fucking story.
Each one's worse than the last.
Yep.
And then a raven comes.
And then a raven comes.
And
with Ned's stamp
and Sansa's own handwriting.
Words.
Yep.
With no mention of Arya.
Which Robb is pissed about.
He is so fucking mad. Well, I mean, I don't blame him. He's got all these horrible stories coming around, and he doesn't know what's happening, what's true, what's not. He finally gets a shred of truth. From his sister's hand, and like some vital fucking information is just not there.
Yeah, I wonder if Robb's his advisors or whatever look at and wonder if Sansa was maybe coerced into writing it, because there is no desperation in her letter. There is no mention of her sister, no mention of her.
I feel like
dad
would know.
Well, right.
Yeah.
That was my first thought, was Maester Luwin would hopefully realize something's up with this letter.
I feel like Luwin, Mordain teaches them how to be ladies and how to do ladies things, but I feel like writing and stuff like that is more of a Maester's place to do.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
That's the words. And so I feel like he would be the one who would have taught her, how to do this and stuff like that, so he would have learned her style and stuff like that and would know, this isn't how she would have phrased that.
Right.
If she had been the one writing it herself.
Well, yeah, because if she had written it herself, there'd be desperation, and she'd be saying exactly what was going on, and...
She would have mentioned at least once how Arya had ruined something.
Or said something happened to her dad, other than...
Yeah, other than he's been in jail and treason.
Committed treason.
Other than he's a traitorous piece of shit.
Yeah. Yep. So, he definitely probably knows that she did that. Be like, well, Arya ruined my day with Joffrey. Oh, by the way, Dad's been in prison for something.
Yeah. Well, that, and she probably hasn't sent a single raven up north voluntarily the entire time she's been down there.
Yeah, that too.
She's not writing letters to her mom or anything.
Because she's going to be a queen. She doesn't give a shit about any more of the...
Exactly.
Now everyone who's below queen status is a dirt people.
Right.
So even her own parents are dirt people, and she's like, I don't give a shit about you guys. There's too much Sansa.
And I also think that one of the things, right, because we know Ned's words, that the Starks have to stick together, right?
Yes.
The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
And he specifically told him that.
So the fact that Sansa's, the only other Stark near her is Arya, and she doesn't mention Arya at all, I think that sticks in Robb's head. Mm-hmm. Why aren't you taking care of your sister?
Yeah. Who cares?
Because she's older.
Yeah. Who cares if you guys don't get along? She's still your younger sister. You're still responsible for her.
Right. Which you can see with Robb trying to be responsible for Bran and Rickon at Winterfell. He probably thinks that Sansa definitely needs to be responsible for Arya.
Yeah. And Arya's like, that's not my fucking job.
Yeah, and Arya's like, well, fuck you.
Oh, Sansa probably...
Sansa's like, yeah.
She also probably doesn't realize that she's not going to see her sister again for a long, long time.
I don't even know if she cares.
She probably doesn't.
She's probably happy.
At this point, she is. I feel like she would... I feel like if anything from the show gives any hint of, real book stuff that I've seen, that she would be wanting to have her sister back at some point.
Maybe.
I mean, the show, she never really mentions her, because she has no, she doesn't give a shit. But she's also, I think if her sister were to have come around, I think she would have been ecstatic to see her.
Well, yeah, because everything she knows is gone at this point.
Yeah.
Oh. We'll have to see if that happens or not.
I hope so. I want Sansa to not be such a conniving bitch.
You mean you want her to grow up?
I guess if we want to use those words.
Alright, can we take a few minutes break? We've been doing this for an hour and 11 minutes, and a good solid discussion now, hour and 11 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to take a break real quick, get a smoke in, and then we can, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about with Osha too, because we get into Mance Raider and some theory stuff as well, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll take a quick breaksy.
Okay.
And then OSHA shows up. OSHA.
Yep.
Complaining about the work environment.
Yeah, still not OSHA approved.
Got big wild animals running around in there.
She's working in the kitchens, so...
She's working in the kitchens.
I'm sure the direwolves go get some scrap from the kitchens.
Yeah, so she shows up. Summer comes around to sniff her.
Yeah.
And she's like...
Well, yeah, because it killed one of her friends, didn't it?
And then
several of her friends.
Yeah, and then started eating them.
Yeah. And plus he's just a giant fucking wolf.
Yeah.
And Bran's like, Summer, to me. So Summer leaves her alone.
Yeah, they're like a year old now. They're like full grown almost.
And I don't think she realized that Bran was going to be there because she's like, oh, I'll leave you alone.
Yep.
And Bran's like, no, stay.
Yep. Because these are her gods, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like, yes, what she's doing there.
Yeah, we find out she's trading sexual favors for some basic human decency.
Let's do one thing at a time.
Oh.
So these are her gods, too.
Yeah.
Because, why?
Oh, because she's above the wall and that's the only gods there.
Only gods
Yeah.
that are up there.
They don't have the 7 up there.
No,
So-
that's a Westeros thing.
Yeah.
So they just have the old gods.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes to pray or to talk to the gods when she needs to.
It wasn't in the middle of a word.
And she tells Bran that...
Oh, yeah, she trades sexual favors to be able to come pray to the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which she doesn't mind.
trading sexual favors for human decency.
Yeah.
That's kind of,
Yeah, human decency being able to pray.
it's an oxymoron.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't seem to mind because she didn't really care that she's having sex with some guy. And she's kind of like, whatever, to her. But he's more gentle than Stiv.
She likes to smell the flour on his hands.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not super rapey.
Which seems like a way to get a
Disgusting.
yeast infection, if you ask me.
Well, if he's not, I mean, it is, but if he's
That's
not,
disgusting.
if he's not doing that first, she might be alright.
Yeah, but then you have to eat the bread that's got that shit in it.
Yeah,
No,
that's also true.
that's
So he's
definitely
got a little
not
extra
okay.
yeast to make it
You
rise.
think this guy's like running
That's
to like wash his
disgusting.
hands before he makes the bread?
That is so fucking disgusting.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that thought process. Go eat some bread after that.
No. I'm cutting carbs out of my diet for that shit.
So, and yeah, I get the feeling that Stiv probably just fucking raped her over and over and over again because she's like she says he's much gentler than Stiv.
Yeah.
I take that to mean he doesn't rape me. Like, I say it's okay and then he does it.
Yeah, it's not just, alright, we're having sex now. Whether she feels like she wants to do it or not.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, it seems like something that she has a little bit more control over, which I guess, whatever. More power to her.
Yeah. It makes her feel less affronted by it.
Yeah. She's a sex worker.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's fine.
Most women are in those days.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
A
enough.
sexy kitchen worker, I don't know.
And then Bran asks her how she knows that the gods are talking, and she explains to him that you can hear them. And he's like, it's just the leaves rustling in the wind. And she's like, well, how do you think the wind blows?
Well, if the
do
gods
it.
are in the trees, then the gods can make the trees move.
Right, and so
Yeah.
remember, we think back to when Jon found Ghost.
Yep.
As they're all riding away, Jon hears a whisper on the wind,
Yep.
and that's what tells him to go back to find Ghost.
I like for
When
No.
he said his vows, right?
No.
When he first met the wolf.
When he first
Oh,
found-
that's right.
But they were all riding down the road, and Jon says, "Do you hear that?"
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
right.
heard a whispering in the wind.
Yeah.
And he's like, nobody else had heard it. Because remember, Bran thought of all the things he could hear. He could
Yeah.
hear the wind. He could hear like the feet of the horses clomping on the wood.
I mean, also to Bran's credit, he's got fucking, 3 pups with him at the moment?
Yeah.
So all he hears is the little whining that they're doing.
Well, to be fair, I think it was just a whisper for Jon.
It probably was, too.
A communication only to Jon.
Yeah.
Which means the others wouldn't have heard
Right,
it.
which means
Yeah.
the others wouldn't have heard it. Like, they
Yeah.
would have just heard the wind howling. But Jon heard a whispering on the wind and went back and found Ghost.
Was it Ghost talking to him?
Was it Ghost, or was it the gods, or is Ghost a god, or all of the direwolf pups, like animate forms of the gods? I don't know. What do you think?
Jesus.
Because remember, we talked about this in the last Jon chapter. Ghost is, he's a fucking weirwood tree.
Yeah.
He's white with red eyes.
Yeah.
I think Ghost and probably the other weirwoods are not just like gifts to the Stark children from the gods, but like an actual physical representation of the gods.
Right.
Okay.
Well, then it really sucks they killed one on the way down to King's Landing.
Yes. Well, and I think that's...
Yeah.
But the wolves did not make it down to King's Landing, and the old gods are not in the south.
But Nymeria's on her own.
Yeah.
And
Running around.
I think that the old gods, to an extent, are still in the south. Like, there's not many weirwood trees down there,
Right.
but we do have that there are places where there are. Like, we find like underground, like, weirwood columns, like petrified weirwoods in Arion Winds of Winter chapter.
Yeah.
It was pre-released. So, I think that they are, but I think also, remember how Ned had that dream where the Kings of Winter and the dire wolves in the crypts were snarling at him
Yeah.
in one of his most recent chapters. Well, that only happened to him, as far as we can tell, after he killed Summer, or after he killed Lady.
Yeah. They killed one of the gods.
Right.
So they're mad at him for killing one of the gods.
For killing a gift from the gods to the Starks.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was like the unforgivable sin.
What if
that
he
he
didn't
committed.
kill it? What if he just returned it?
He killed it.
I make it like he returned the gift back. Like, I don't want this live animal you gave me, so I'm going to kill it. Send it back to you guys. Spiritual form. You don't return a gift. It's rude.
Well, it's better than regifting.
That's true. That's true.
I have no comment.
Yeah. So Bran tries to hear the gods, but he still only hears a rustling of the leaves. And then he hears, Hodor!
Yeah.
And
And Hodor shows up.
fucking balls to the wind.
Buck ass, motherfucking naked.
Yep.
Yep.
Steaming, dripping wet, junk just hanging out, waving in the wind.
No shame.
No shame whatsoever.
It's my kind of guy.
And
No
Osha
shame.
gives him a sour smile and goes, now there's a big man.
Yeah.
He's got some mountain blood in him.
Some
Or
giant
blood.
He's got giant's blood in him, or if he doesn't have any giant's blood in him, then I'm the queen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
And then
she ain't the
goes through
queen, so.
Yeah, as I say. And then she goes through the whole thing where
Well, Bran's like, well, there are no giants.
Yeah.
Well, first Bran tells Hodor to go fucking get dressed.
Yeah. Go get dressed, you son of a bitch. And he's like, Hodor.
Hodor.
Runs away, goes and gets his clothes and gets dressed.
And so Bran's like, well, Maester Luwin says there are no giants. And Osha's like, well, you know what? Let your fucking Maester Luwin ride up north of the wall. He'll find some fucking giants. Or they'll find him.
Yeah.
Yep. And he'll also find Snarks and Grumpkins.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and much worse than
And much
giants.
worse. She brings up the whites, too.
She does.
brings-
They're blue eyes and they're black hands.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
She brings that up, but yeah, she's like, and her brother had killed a giant. It was only 10 foot tall, and it was a stunted one.
Yeah, a woman, and it was stunted.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the female giants steal men and mate with them. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get the halflings. Apparently, like, she thinks like Hodor.
Yeah.
Who I don't think Hodor's half giant. I think that he is Sir Duncan. I think he's Sir Duncan the Tall's child.
Oh,
Or,
well,
yeah.
what if Sir Duncan the Tall is half giant, and this guy is a quarter giant?
Well, Sir Duncan the Tall was from the south.
Oh.
So probably not half giant.
Alright.
Just saying.
So does that mean if that's the case, then she actually is queen?
Maybe?
That would be interesting.
Right.
Honestly, with her grounding in reality, she might do a better job as queen than the queens we've got right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I almost might rather have Queen fucking Osha than Queen Daenerys or Queen Cersei
Yeah, I would.
or Queen Sansa.
Can we name the
God.
chapter Queen Osha?
Queen Osha.
We'll see, it's got to beat out Hodor's junk.
It might.
That's just, I didn't have a way to fix that together.
We could also go with, this time around, because of Hodor's junk and her fascination with it, we could go with Osha approved.
Oh, that's true. Osha approved.
That's funny.
Wake it up,
Osha approved junk. Osha approved junk.
I just think Osha approved.
That's fair. She does give him quite the appealing, improved look.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah. And then we found out, too, that halflings can only be made one way.
Right, because
The
if males try to mate with a human woman,
She's gonna
Doesn't
rip in
work.
half.
No.
Well, no.
work well.
It's like trying to stick your dick through a pinhole.
Yeah.
They just kind of get ripped in half.
Yeah.
Whew. Sounds horrifying.
Although I still can't figure out how regular human-sized penis and a giantess woman is gonna actually amount to anything.
Well, we do know for a fact that Garth the Green Hand, who was just like a human-sized guy, did sire a child with a giantess.
How? You climb up in there?
I don't know. Well, they're not like 80 feet tall.
I think they overplay
They're like
them in the show.
14.
Yeah, but I think they overplay them in the show with how massive you're... because that's what I was thinking too, how massive they are in the show, but with the way that they're describing them in here...
They're just tall guys. 14 feet tall, yes. But so say he's 7 feet tall. It'd be like a normal-sized person mating with a dwarf.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be weird, but it'll still fit in the right place.
Yeah, they'll still make porn out of it. Whatever.
That's true.
Westerosi Hub?
That's funny.
And then she mentions that winter is coming above the wall, and that the old men leave their fires and never return. Mm-hmm. Or if they do return,
they return as whites.
Not quite human anymore.
Yeah, ice blue eyes and black hands.
Yep. Which we'll meet a character later on who has black hands.
Didn't we
Caesar Maloney.
Didn't we already meet somebody who had black hands?
Well, we met the whites that attacked, but then we're later on we're going to meet cold hands. What?
I don't know. I still have this idea that Benjen's cold hands, and I know that's not...
No, he's not fucking cold hands.
I know he's not, but it still hurts my soul.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
She's being dumb.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You should be surprised.
I'm not.
Yes, you're not.
And then she gets into talking about something that I find very interesting.
Oh.
She has a little discussion about Mance Rayder.
Why is that interesting?
Well, so...
The last time he was mentioned was in the prologue, wasn't it?
No, he's been mentioned a couple times.
A couple times in passing, but...
Okay.
But I'm always on the lookout for Mance Rayder information.
Okay.
Mance Rayder lookout, like Mole Patrol when you're watching 24.
Okay.
You're always looking out for a mole. I'm always looking out for info on Mance Rayder.
And she actually does a decent, it's not just his name's passed through in this, it has been in John's chapter. She actually has a conversation about, what she thinks Mance is trying to do versus, what she thinks is going to happen.
Yeah, and not just that, but also his origin story, right? So, so the story on Mance Rayder is that...
Per OSHA?
No, the story up to now.
Okay.
The accepted story for everybody except for OSHA.
Okay.
Is that Mance Rayder was a wildling child who was found by the Night's Watch and then raised by the Night's Watch, who then broke his vows and went back to become part of the wildlings again.
Okay. And because he didn't go south of the wall, he didn't die. He just went back north and lived in them.
They just didn't find him.
Yeah.
And they can't find him. If they can't kill him, they can't find him.
Right.
Now, OSHA says very specifically that... Let me see where it is. Okay, so this is what she says about Mance Rayder. Mance thinks he'll fight. The brave, sweet, stubborn man, like the White Walkers were no more than rangers. But what does he know? He can call himself King Beyond the Wall all he likes. But he's still just another old black crow who flew down from the Shadow Tower. He's never tasted winter. I was born up there, child. Like my mother and her mother before her, and her mother before her. Born of the free folk. We remember.
So he wasn't born up there.
So she, who is a wildling and has been a wildling her whole life, doesn't think that Mance Rayder was born a wildling.
So she thinks he was born
somewhere else.
South of the wall.
Right.
Which plays into your he's Sir Arthur Dayne thing.
That or just he's not originally a wildling.
Yeah.
And then he came to unite the wildlings together.
But he came down from Shadow Tower.
Well, that's one of the Night's Watch towers.
That's what I was asking.
Right, but the thing is, the accepted story is that he was a wildling child found by the Night's Watch, taken in by the Night's Watch, raised, became a member of the Night's Watch, and then defected.
Right.
She doesn't think that the whole, before he was a Night's Watch member, that he was actually a wildling. She doesn't think that's true.
Okay, so he either escaped under the wall, or he actually became a member of the Night's Watch and then defected.
Well, I don't think that part's in dispute.
Right.
Like, he certainly was a member of the Night's Watch and defected to the north.
Okay.
What's in question here is whether he was actually, like, a wildling at birth.
Right.
She doesn't seem to think so. She seems to think that he was born south of the wall.
Okay.
And then defected to the north after he was a member of the Night's Watch. Whereas the accepted story that we'll learn from Corn Halfhand is that he was a wildling taken in by the Night's Watch and then went back to the wildlings.
Gotcha.
But she says that he's no true wildling.
He wouldn't be one of, what's his face's sons?
No.
Okay.
No, he's too old to be one of Craster's sons.
Okay. Because he leaves his sons out to die all the time.
Oh, okay.
Craster, the guy above the wall.
Haven't hit that in the books yet.
No, I know. I'm just saying that, but, like, it's one
I
of
know.
those things-
I'm just trying really hard to stay in the books, and I got confused.
Oh.
And her last sentence also strikes me. She's a member of the Free Folk. She's a wildling. We remember.
Mm-hmm.
The North remembers.
The dragon remembers.
What does everyone remember?
I think it has to do with the First Men's ties to magic, the Children of the Forest, warging, skin changing, things like that.
Obviously, they don't remember because it's fallen out of...
Well, no, but some of them do, right? As Osha says, we remember.
Right. So is it like something no one ever talks about?
Who knows? Maybe they just don't talk about it while we're in their POV.
Probably.
Right, but the dragon remembers.
The North remembers.
The North remembers. The Free Folk remember. The trees remember.
Yep.
Right, so I think that it's a tie. Like, I think that all of those groups are important.
Yeah.
To the war that we're going to be fighting.
It's a good point.
Yes, you've
They're all gonna come
you've
together.
got like the Targaryens, you've got the Starks.
There's
in
no
the
more
north.
Targaryens, though.
Yes,
There's
there is. There's Dany.
Well, except for Dany.
So all you need is one.
Well, there's
Alright.
two right now. Because Aemon's one.
That's true. Aemon Targaryen.
He's not in the books yet!
Yes, he
Aemon
is.
Targaryen is the fucking maester at the wall.
Oh, him.
You're thinking of Aegon. You're thinking of Aegon.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the guy at the wall doesn't count, though. He's a member of the Night's Watch.
But he's still a Targaryen. He still has Targaryen. He still has dragon blood.
Well, yeah, he still is.
So the dragon remembers.
Okay.
He's also a maester, so I would hope he remembers some good information about that, too.
Yeah, but is he passing misinformation like the rest of the maesters are?
Are they knowingly?
Shady motherfuckers.
Are they knowingly passing misinformation?
Well, that's a question. So people think that there's a big maester conspiracy where the maesters are.
Well, obviously, it's politics.
Right. So where the maesters are trying to control things.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if maybe one person was trying to control things and started spreading misinformation. So the maesters think...
that's where it all starts.
Yeah, no, but the general maesters around think that they're spreading, like, the what is knowledge of this day.
And like the Archmaesters are kind of like...
They gave them the wrong information at the top, so they're just spreading that out.
More than likely,
possible.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's where anti-vaxxing's starting.
Yeah. It's true.
But yeah.
Not to bring politics or anything into it, but that was the best
Kind of politics. That's just
comparison
bad science. Bad science.
That was just the best comparison I could come up with.
Yeah. So I like that little bit about Mance Raider and about We Remember from OSHA.
Yeah.
I think there's some important stuff that's going to play important roles later on.
Yeah.
And then she tries to tell Bran that your brother's going the wrong fucking way. Like, don't go south. He needs to go north.
But he won't listen to me.
The gods aren't going to hear. He's not going to get any help from the gods in the south because the Weirwoods have no faces. So how can they see?
Yeah, there's no way to watch them.
Did she say they were cut down?
Yeah, thousands of years ago.
Yeah, they were.
That's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was when the first men came through, they were cutting them all down, right?
Or was it the Andals? It depends on whose history you want to
Are
believe.
they not the same?
The Andals are different than the first men.
They came after the first men, right?
That's why the first men are the first men.
Is Jorah
I'm
first
just
man or
trying
an
to
Andal?
get everything.
What?
Is Jorah a first man or an Andal?
Jorah's family is first men.
Okay, because I remember you telling me this before and I couldn't remember.
But in Esso, like the Dothraki call him Jorah the Andal.
Yeah.
But he's the Mormonts are first men.
It's
They're
just
from the north.
easier to call them an Andal.
Yeah.
It's easier for them to say.
Okay. Because I remember we had this conversation before and I couldn't remember if he was actually an Andal or if he was just a first man.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the first man, but they call him Jorah the Andal. Yeah.
Okay.
That's just it's like a funny thing, like a little joke. Haha.
You're an Andal.
You weren't first.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I find that interesting. And then yes, so we don't know who cut down the trees. Was it the first men? Was it the Andals? Was it both?
Was it George Washington?
You were doing so well.
Oh, we almost made it.
I know, but it was a good one. Come on, that was pretty good.
How was that good?
Because we're talking about people cutting down trees, and George Washington cut down the cherry tree.
But he didn't actually do that.
And that's why it fits, because he didn't cut down the weirwood trees.
Anyway.
I love you.
So Bran says, well, that's fine. I will tell Robb, because Robb will listen to me.
He'll
and the great
hear
Jon
him, he won't listen to
and
him.
the great Jon won't shove me out of the way like he did to you.
Yeah. I feel like he would, though.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like he would.
Except that he'd lose fingers on his other hand because Summer would rip him off.
Exactly. He would do it.
He's missing these 2 fingers, right?
Yes, he can't go bowling anymore.
Oh, it is the middle 2? I thought it was the first 2.
I think it's these. I'm not sure.
These are the ones 3-finger Hobbs missing.
Yeah. I think it's these 2, so he can't do the British, fuck you.
Yeah, these are the 2 3-finger Hobbs missing.
I see where you're going.
I'm trying to make it stand up and it won't.
I have a short tendon.
Yeah, I have a very short tendon.
So Bran leaves and we head to the dinner.
Now we're at an actual dinner.
Now we're actually at a dinner, not a flashback of the dinner.
Yes. And he's lording over this dinner,
He's
isn't
lording
he?
over the dinner because Robb is in his solar taking dinner with the lords and the generals of his army.
Yep.
Because plans.
Yep, because they're leaving shortly.
Yes, they'll be leaving in a couple of days.
Yep.
Rude.
So they're making their final plans.
And the men aren't too keen on
there's a
the
lot
cripple sitting in the Lord's seat.
A lot of conversation amongst the dirt people there about Bran shouldn't be up there because he's a craven, because he won't kill himself.
Because he's Bran the Broken.
A cripple because he's Bran the Broken. And
the guy named after his father is the guy that he hears that from.
Yeah.
Eddard, I don't remember what house he's from. He's a Karstark?
He's a Karstark.
Yeah, but, so an Eddard says that he should have killed himself.
An Eddard Stark says it.
Yeah. An Eddard of Stark blood.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yep. And then, so we get a little conversation between Bran and Maester Luwin.
Who's sitting on his right-hand side.
Who's sitting at the position of power. And honor. Interesting. And Maester Luwin tells him, well, have you ever considered becoming a maester? You have great drawing classes. You learn a whole bunch of stuff.
And he's like,
the Knights of the Mind.
Everything's really realistic.
He's like, well, I don't want to become a maester. I want to learn magic.
I want to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
And Maester Luwin's like, no man can teach you magic. And Bran's like, the children of the forest could.
Yeah, they're not men.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. And Maester Luwin probably just thinks it's like a childhood dream.
Yeah. And Luwin's like, they don't exist, dude.
It's like, I want to be a fire truck when I grow up.
Yeah. And he's like, how many times I gotta tell you? They don't fucking exist. And he's like, well, OSHA says.
Yeah.
So, well, not
specifically,
but yeah.
And Maester Luwin goes, boy, that OSHA, she could give old Nan a run for her money in telling tales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
But they have no idea what she's seen above the wall, so.
Right. Well, this is where the whole Maester conspiracy thing comes from, right? Because the Maesters are always so quick to discount anything that isn't, like, approved teaching at the Citadel.
So, is the Citadel like the Vatican?
Yes, in a way.
Okay.
Yeah. It's tied, if you look at the pieces, it's actually tied very closely to the Faith of the Seven.
Okay.
And the religion, yeah. So it almost is like, it'd be like the Jesuits, which is like, it's like the academic order of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Like most of like the big schools that you hear about that are Catholic, they're Jesuit schools, because that's like the academic order. Mm-hmm. And so like the Maesters would be like the Jesuits of the Faith of the Seven almost.
So where the Faith of the Seven don't reside, there are no Maesters?
No, there are, because, like, for instance, there's a maester at every major house. Even in the north, where there might... So, like, Winterfell...
But he's of the Seven, because he came with Catelyn.
Right, but he's still in the north at Winterfell.
Okay.
I think it's because they're perverse and... perverse. Not the word I'm looking for. They're well-versed in so many more things than just the religion, even though they're tied to the religion.
They do the teaching.
Yeah, and they're healers.
They're the only ones who are trained in ravenry. Mm-hmm. So that's why there's a Maester, at least one at every house. So, like, even before Catelyn was at Winterfell, back when it was just, there was no Southerner at Winterfell,
It was just
all
Starks.
they still had a Maester.
Yeah, but we don't know who that was.
Yeah, we do. As well as Flowers. He went missing right around the beginning of Robert's Rebellion.
Oh, he went missing.
Yes. We don't know his fate. We're assumed dead, possibly, maybe.
Is he the one you think is out taking care of Shara?
It's possible that he's on a boat called the Shy Maid over in Essos, maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Is that the one with Fagon?
Yes.
Okay.
We're missing several books of the story. Of course, everything's a possibility for right now. We don't have the end of the story.
That's true. Okay.
He just went missing.
Yeah, but he went missing. So he was gone, but yeah, they had a Maester. His name was
Did
Wallace
he go
Flowers.
missing, like, right before or right after Jon showed up?
So it would be... We don't know the exact timing of when. So Ned goes off to war.
Yep.
After the war, Jon and Ned come home.
Yep.
And then Catelyn comes home, and she has Maester Luwin with her,
Yep.
and Wallace Flowers is not there.
Okay.
We don't know the exact timing.
I feel
Okay.
like George is the only one who knows all of the exact
He
timings
probably
of the
doesn't
books.
even know.
There's two other people, Ilio and I forget his wife's name, who do a lot of the, like, they did, like, a lot of the stuff for, like, the World of Ice and Fire book. They're like, they're like his, like, constant companion helpers.
Okay, so they know a lot of the timeline. They
Right,
are the only
they're
ones that were the-
like he'll contact them if he has questions. Like if he's like writing and he's like, "Oh, now how did that tie back in?" Like he'll ask them,
Okay.
and they'll know the answer.
Well, he can't expect to remember it all.
Ilio
so.
and Linda, yeah,
Linda.
yeah. So there are 3 people who know all the answers,
Okay.
That's funny.
probably.
They need to get the answers out there to the public.
But so Bran has no desire to be a fucking Maester.
No.
He doesn't want to be a Knight of the Mind. If he can't be a Knight, he wants to fucking fly.
He wants to be a wizard.
Yeah, he wants
Yes.
to be a wizard.
He
He wants
does.
to,
Wizard.
he wants to
he-
smoke old Toby and
He
fucking
needs
walk
to-
around.
Yeah.
He needs to go talk to Varys and Illyrio, apparently.
They're not wizards.
According to Arya, they are. Or one of them is.
Yeah.
According to Arya, that's true.
That would be Illyrio, because Varys is his bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then, so, 2 days later, Robb, there's a
Sunrise.
red dawn,
Mm-hmm.
and not the kind where the commies come and try to take over America.
Oh.
Blood has been
I guess.
spilled this night.
Not that either. No, this one is, there will be blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so Robb and his men are heading out to cheers and adulation, and Bran is watching them from the tower again.
Mm-hmm.
And all he can think about...
He's not in the tower.
Oh, that's right, he's down on his horse.
Dancer.
That's right, he's down on his horse, watching them. And all he can think about is he wants to ride up ahead real fast and tell Robb that they're riding the wrong way. Bran is now full in on, we need to go north and fight the others.
Well, I would also keep him closer to home.
Would also keep him closer to home, but probably also just as much of a chance of dying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's either you die or you don't.
But it's not a permanent death if you go north. You kind of come back.
Yeah,
They just keep White Robb, like, fucking chained up on his fucking throne.
Be like Michonne.
Why not? The governor does it with his daughter.
Yeah.
in Walking Dead.
Michonne did it with her boyfriend and her brother.
That's fair. Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Not that they probably don't have some crypty zombies down in the crypts somewhere, so...
That'd be pretty sweet. I mean, they did start getting out of their crypts in,
For Ned.
Yeah, no, not Ned.
Yeah.
Was it? I think it was
for
John.
John.
For John's
John's
dream, they
the
start,
one.
like, actually opening up and, like, coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Making their presence known.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. And that's where we leave off.
Yep.
Actually, we leave off with Bran saying Hodor.
Well, right. Hodor.
Hodor's asking a question.
Yep. And Bran wonders what Hodor means.
Yes.
Because apparently it means everything, because every answer
Yeah.
Hodor gives is Hodor.
And this hurt me, because I'm like, what if if the thing in the show happened, this is foreshadowing if he's wondering what this means now.
Dun dun dun!
Yeah, and I'm like, oh god, it hurts. Maintain fetal position.
Maintain fetal position. That's funny.
Alright, so we have to vote on a name for the chapter. So yours, Widow Wolfsbane, was...
Burst Bran's bubble.
Okay, that's a brand new one that you didn't mention before.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Oh, the other one was Basket Case.
Okay.
That one I came up with in the
Which
middle.
I'm not going to go with because it's a good Green Day song, but I don't want to
Basket
ruin.
Case?
Yes, I love Basket Case. Great song.
I don't really care for Green Day that much.
The older stuff is good. Once they got to, like, American Nimrod, they just started to stop because it became, like, mainstream, but, like, older Green Day is awesome.
That's fair. I didn't listen to really much of any of
Like
it.
Doogie, Kerplunk, it's good stuff.
Okay.
All right, Lady Wyverns came up with
Osha the Queen.
Osha the Queen,
Yep.
which I do like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had Hodor's Junk.
Yes.
As well as
Osha's
OSHA approved. OSHA approved. All right.
So we actually have 4 for this one?
Yeah, so we have well, I'm gonna say Hodor's Junk because we got that in the haiku, so we can just toss that. That's already in the haiku.
Okay, so it's more or less between OSHA approved and OSHA the Queen.
All right. So who wants OSHA the Queen?
We can go for OSHA.
You're not even going to vote for your own one.
I like OSHA approved.
I like OSHA approved more too.
So this time, this chapter forever will actually be OSHA approved instead of not OSHA approved.
Don't get it confused with OSHA not approved.
Yeah. Although she still wasn't very approving of the wolf, but
no.
But she approves of the new work conditions.
She does.
She approves of the less rapey yet still sex workerish working conditions in the kitchens.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And she also approves of Hodor's junk.
She does.
Yep.
Hodor might not be a virgin much longer.
How do you know he's going to consent?
How do you know he hasn't already had sex with somebody?
That's true, too. I hadn't thought about that. I'd feel like if she made an advance on it and he just went for it, I don't think she'd stop him. But I don't think she would flat out, I don't think she'd rape him.
Well,
although
no,
maybe she's a wildling and they get, rape is like normal sex for them.
Well, that's how they do it.
Yeah, rape for a wildling is sex.
Yeah, that's how you find a wife, is you kidnap her and fucking rape her.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like caveman. Clunk.
Basically.
Drag him back in the cave.
Basically.
And then the first homosexual marriage happened. Clunk.
Okay. And then their line died off.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
To be fair. Alright, so what's our next chapter?
Dany 6.
Daenerys 6, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is where the wine merchant tries to kill Dany.
I would assume as much because I think the last one, Viserys died.
Yes, last time Viserys died.
Yep.
So this must be where the wine merchant tries to kill Dany and Ser Jorah saves her.
Yes. I'm still reading that one, but Jorah was just like, hey, let's go to the Western Market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So.
Yep. I haven't read it in a while, but I figured that, I thought that was the one coming up. Okay. So, excellent. So we'll get into Dany 6. I do like this one again. It's heavy on the Jorah.
Dany's attempted murder.
And Jogo. So, it's good stuff.
Yep.
Yep, we're gonna get a pissed off Khal Drogo.
Well, yeah.
Second time over.
Yeah.
Second time in 2 chapters.
Really pissed off Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
Hate to be that wine merchant.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
No bueno. Sweet, dude.
Overcompensating. Every fucking time.
Yep.
Every day, all day.
Alright, so let's see. We want to thank our patrons.
We do.
Awesome
we love our patrons.
Yep, they're amazing. If you want to become a patron and get early access to all the shows, get unedited versions of the shows when available, or if you want to spend $5 a month, you can come on the show and argue with us.
Indeed.
Or
agree with us, whichever.
You want. Then head on over to patreon.com/ironwood. And for as little as $1 a month, you can get signed up. Other than that, you can find our website at IceAndFirePod.com, which links out to all of our other shit.
Yes, it does.
All across the internet. If you're looking for us on Twitter, which is where we usually are, I am at Maester Ironwood.
I'm at Lady_Wyvern.
And I am at Widow Wolfsbane.
Perfect. We're also on the Facebook. We're on the YouTube. Just search it up. You'll find us. Or just go to the website. You'll find links to it all.
Yep.
Ice and Fire Pod, guys. It's that simple.
Yep. Ice and Fire Pod. That's us. So, until next time when we are saving Daenerys' life, have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.